Hi there and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Raluca. I got requested by one of you guys to share my everyday makeup, so that's what we're going to do today. It's going to be very simple, very beginner friendly, so let's get started. Before I apply any makeup to my face, I'm first going to apply SPF, and I'm using the Altruist SPF 30 sunscreen. And I'm just going to massage it into my skin. SPF is very important, especially during summer, but not only in summer. Now I'm going to move on to my brows, and on an everyday basis I either do the soap brow, which I have a tutorial on, or I just regularly fill in the brows, and that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm first going to brush them up. This is the Brow Wiz by Anastasia Beverly Hills, by the way. I'm not going to apply foundation today because I'm going to go to work, and at work I'm actually wearing a mask and I don't like foundation transferring on my mask, and that's why I gave up using foundation. To fill in my brows, I'm going to use the Brow Powder Duo by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This one is in the shade medium brown. I'm just going to mix both of these shades. The brush that I'm using is a Makeup Addiction small angle brush. I love this brush for brows. And I'm first going to define the underneath of my brow, mainly focusing on the outer half. I'm not adding a lot of product in the front, just whatever is left on my brush. I'm taking a little bit more product and define the tail. And then with whatever is left on my brush, I'm going to define the top of my brow. And now I'm going to brush them to diffuse the product a little bit more, so they will look a little bit more natural. And using my Brow Wiz, I'm just going to draw some hair strokes in the front. And I'm also going to define the tail a little bit more. Something like this. Now I can set them in place using my Benefit 24-hour brow setter. This brow gel is amazing. I especially love the brush on this one. I'm first going to use the longer bristles and then the short ones to ensure that my brows are coated in this brow gel. Because I'm not going to use foundation today, I'm just going to conceal my under eyes, and I'm using my favorite concealer at the moment, which is the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser. I'm first going to use the shade Brightener to brighten my under eyes, especially if you have dark under eyes. This one can help you a lot. And I'm blending it using a sponge. And by the way, keep in mind that this is some kind of a corrector. You can't just wear it by itself. As you can see, it looks pink. So yeah, I have to add concealer on top. And I'm going to use the shade Light to conceal. This is kind of the same shade as my skin tone, but since I'm not using foundation, I'm not going to use a lighter shade on my under eyes. I'm just going to use my shade. And I'm going to conceal my eyelid as well to prime for eyeshadow. Again, I'm blending using the sponge by bouncing the sponge like this. I'm not dragging it because I don't want to move the product. And this alone makes such a difference in my skin. It makes it look more awake. Now I need to set this in place to make sure that it won't crease. And I'm going to use the RCMA No Color Powder. The brush that I'm using is a Makeup Addiction Dual Fiber Blender. I just love using blending brushes like this for my under eyes. But first I'm going to make sure there are no creases. And then I'm immediately going to set this by tapping. Again, I'm not moving the brush around because again it's going to move the cream product underneath. And I'm going to set my eyelid as well because I'm just going to do a very simple eyeshadow look. And if you know me, you know that I don't really have an everyday look when it comes to eyeshadow. I like experimenting a lot. But when I'm not feeling that creative or I just want to get it done quickly, I'm doing the 3 shadow look, which this is the name that I gave it. I'm just using 3 shadows, 1 transition, 1 darker shade to deepen out the outer corner, and 1 shade on the lid, which is usually a shimmer for me. To keep it simple and neutral, today I'm going to use the Nubian by Juvia's Place. This palette right here, which is perfect for everyday looks. It leans more towards warm tones, which I love. First we're going to apply the transition shade, and I'm going to use this brown here. It's kind of like a neutral brown. To blend this shade, I'm going to use the Juvia's Place 007 blending brush, and I'm going to apply this in my crease. So I'm just doing left and right motions and apply this shade on my entire crease. I'm going to take a little bit more product, dust off the excess, and apply it on the lower lash line as well. And I'm basically connecting it to the top here in the corner. The second shade that I'm going to use is going to be a darker brown, and I'm going to pick up this one right here. The brush that I'm using is a Morphe M506 brush. It's a slightly smaller blending brush. Dusting off the excess again, so I make sure that I don't apply a lot and then be unable to blend it. And this shade I'm placing in my outer corner, so I'm stamping it here on my lid, and then I'm going to wipe my brush against my skin and kind of blend this shade into my outer corner to kind of extend my eye shape. And I'm going to take a little bit more of that shade and apply it on my lower lash line, just in the other corner. Now I'm taking my blending brush again and make sure that the 2 shades that I applied are blended together. I'm not applying much pressure on this brush, so I'm just gently going over this shade. I'm taking more of that dark brown again to kind of intensify, and blend again with the fluffy brush. I'm basically just going back and forth between these 2 brushes to make sure that everything is blended. And see how this eye looks a little bit more extended than this one. On my eyelid, as a 3rd shade, I'm going to apply a shimmer. I'm just not sure which one. I think I'm going to go with the gold. Taking it on a Morphe M124 brush. It's just a flat brush like this. I'm applying this in the inner half of my eyelid. I'm basically just stamping it so I get the maximum pigmentation. And I'm applying it on the lower lash line as well. I feel like applying the shimmer on the lower lash line ties the whole look together. And I'm gonna take the small blending brush again to make sure that we don't have a harsh line here. Something like this. Now I need to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone, and you can either use a face highlighter, like one that you would use on your cheeks for example, or you can use a light shimmer eyeshadow, like for example this one right here in the corner, and that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to stamp this in my inner corner and under the arch of my brow. If I have enough time, usually I would add a wing liner as well, but today I'm going to keep it simple. So I'm just going to finish off this look by applying some mascara, but first I'm going to curl my lashes. I also like tilting the lash curler like this to get an even stronger curl. And I'm going to apply mascara right away. I'm using the Size Up Mascara by Sephora collection. I think you know this by now. But I feel like these days it's going to be over, because I don't quite get that much product anymore on the brush. I'm applying from the base of my lashes to the top. I'm also doing this kind of motion to coat every lash. See why I love this mascara so much? And honestly, that's about it. So I don't apply foundation, I don't apply lipstick either, because again it transfers on my mask and I hate that. And you can see my lips anyway, so this whole wearing masks all the time has really changed my makeup routine. So this is my everyday makeup at the moment. I mainly focus on the brows and eyes, and that's about it. I really hope this video was useful for you. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you're into makeup. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye!